The security camera footage doesn't lie, but it sure as hell doesn't tell the whole story either. I'm sitting in my basement office at 3 in the morning, watching my wife Jennifer climb out of a silver BMW in the parking lot of the Riverside Inn. The timestamp reads Tuesday, 11:47 p.m. She told me she was working late on the Morrison account. The Morrison account that apparently requires taking off your wedding ring before entering a motel room. My name is David Parker, and I fix networks for a living. Routers, switches, firewalls, the digital backbone that keeps businesses running. 23 years I've been crawling through server rooms and untangling cable messes. It's honest work, even if Jennifer's friends think I'm just the tech guy who married above his station. The irony isn't lost on me. I spend my days connecting things that should work together, and my nights discovering how disconnected my own life has become. Jennifer emerges from the motel room 47 minutes later. Her hair is different. Her walk is different. She checks her phone, smooths her skirt, and drives away in her white Lexus like she's coming home from a board meeting instead of whatever the hell just happened in room 237. I've been tracking her for 3 weeks now. Not with some creepy private investigator nonsense. I'm not that guy. But when your wife starts password protecting her phone and taking mysterious calls in the garage, well, let's just say my professional skills come in handy. The GPS tracker I installed in her car is military grade. The keylogger on her laptop is invisible. The backup of her cloud storage updates every 6 hours. Jennifer thinks she's being clever, but she's married to someone who understands that information is power, and power is everything. The BMW belongs to Marcus Thompson, her business partner at Pinnacle Marketing. 34 years old, divorced, drives a car that costs more than I make in a year. He's the kind of guy who wears cologne to the gym and calls everyone champ. Jennifer met him 6 months ago when Pinnacle started handling the digital campaigns for her real estate firm. I close the laptop and head upstairs. Jennifer is already asleep, or pretending to be. Her breathing has that careful rhythm people use when they're faking it. I stand in the doorway for a moment, watching her perform sleep the same way she's been performing our marriage. Before we dive deeper into this story, I have one small request. Please subscribe, drop a like, comment, and hit that hype button to boost this channel so more people can discover these incredible Reddit stories. Tomorrow is Thursday. Jennifer has lunch with her sister Amanda, then a client meeting at 4. Marcus has a dentist appointment at 2 and a conference call with investors at 5. I know their schedules better than they do, but they don't know mine. The plan started forming 3 weeks ago, right after I discovered the first hotel receipt in Jennifer's purse. Not a plan for revenge. I'm not some unhinged husband looking to destroy lives. A plan for justice. There's a difference, though I'm not sure anyone else would see it. See, Jennifer and Marcus think they're playing a game where only they know the rules. They think I'm just David the network guy, too boring and predictable to notice what's happening right under my nose. They're about to learn that underestimating the person who controls your digital life is a mistake you only make once. I pour a glass of water and check my phone. The backup routine finished 20 minutes ago. Jennifer's text messages, emails, photos, and call logs are all safely stored on a server she doesn't know exists. Marcus's social media accounts, business emails, and financial records are updating in real time. Knowledge is power, but timing is everything. The house is quiet except for the hum of the refrigerator and the distant sound of traffic on Highway 9. This used to be a nice neighborhood. Middle-class families, decent schools, the kind of place where people knew their neighbors and kids rode bikes until dark. Now it's mostly rental properties and people trying to flip houses for quick profit. Like everything else, it's not what it used to be. I finish the water and head back downstairs. The security footage from the Riverside Inn plays on a loop, 47 minutes condensed into digital evidence of a marriage that ended before I even knew it was over. But Jennifer doesn't know that yet. Neither does Marcus. Tomorrow, that changes. The Pinnacle Marketing Office occupies the top floor of the Meridian building downtown, all glass and steel and the kind of modern furniture that looks expensive but feels cheap. I'm here to install new network equipment, a job that should take 3 hours but will probably stretch to 5 because nobody understands that moving data requires more than wishful thinking. Jennifer doesn't know I'm here. The work order came through my company's automated system, just another corporate client needing an infrastructure upgrade. Sometimes the universe has a sense of humor. Marcus Thompson greets me at the elevator wearing a suit that costs more than my truck payment. He's got the kind of smile that politicians use when they're lying to your face, all teeth and no warmth. "You must be Dave from TechFlow Solutions," he says, extending a hand that's softer than my wife's. "Marcus Thompson, managing partner." "David," I correct him. "And yes, I'm here about your network upgrade." He doesn't recognize my last name, which tells me Jennifer has been careful about keeping her work life separate from whatever she thinks her home life is. Good operational security, but it won't help her now. The office is exactly what I expected. Open floor plan, motivational posters, and the kind of aggressive positivity that usually masks serious dysfunction. 12 employees, 6 workstations, and a server room that looks like it was designed by someone who learned about computers from watching movies. We've been having connectivity issues, Marcus explains as he leads me toward the back of the office. Slow internet, dropped connections, files taking forever to upload. It's impacting our client deliverables. I nod and make appropriate technical sounds while cataloging everything I see. The employee directory on the wall shows Jennifer as Senior Account Executive, hired 4 months ago. Her desk is in the corner, covered with real estate listings and marketing materials for something called the Riverside Development Project. Interesting. The server room is a disaster, cables everywhere, equipment stacked on folding tables, and a cooling system that sounds like it's powered by hamsters. I spend 20 minutes documenting the current setup while Marcus hovers nearby, checking his phone every 30 seconds. This is going to take longer than I thought, I tell him. Your current infrastructure can't handle the bandwidth you're pushing through it. It's like trying to run a highway through a garden hose. How much longer? Full day, maybe 2. I'll need to run new cables, configure the switches, and test everything before I can certify the installation. Marcus checks his phone again. That's fine. Just try to keep the noise down. We've got client calls all afternoon. He leaves me alone with the servers and cables and the kind of access that network administrators dream about. The existing system is so poorly secured that getting into their data would be like picking a lock made of tissue paper. But I don't need to break in. I'm being paid to upgrade their security. The new firewall I install is top-of-the-line military-grade encryption with monitoring capabilities that would make the NSA jealous. Every email, every file transfer, every website visit will be logged and archived. The backup system I configure will create redundant copies of everything, stored on servers that Marcus and Jennifer don't know exist. It's not illegal. It's not even unethical. I'm providing exactly the service they requested: complete network security with comprehensive data protection. They just don't understand what that means yet. By lunchtime, I've got full access to Pinnacle's digital infrastructure. Employee emails, client files, financial records, project timelines, everything flows through systems I now control. The beauty of network administration is that once you're inside the system, you become invisible. Jennifer arrives back from lunch at 1:30, laughing at something on her phone. She doesn't notice me working in the server room, doesn't recognize the TechFlow Solutions van in the parking lot. She's too busy texting someone to pay attention to the guy rewiring her office's digital nervous system. I watch her through the server room's glass door as she settles at her desk and opens her laptop. The keylogger I installed this morning starts recording immediately. Every password, every document, every private message, all of it archived in real time. Marcus emerges from his office and walks over to Jennifer's desk. They have a brief conversation that I can't hear, but their body language tells me everything I need to know. The way he leans over her shoulder, the way she tilts her head toward him, the way they both smile like they're sharing a secret. They are sharing a secret. They just don't know how many people are listening. At 3:15, Jennifer gets a text message. She reads it, glances toward Marcus's office, and types a quick reply. 30 seconds later, my phone buzzes with a notification from the monitoring system I installed. The message is from Marcus. Room 237 again tonight? I can't stop thinking about Tuesday. Jennifer's reply, 8 p.m. And Marcus, bring the champagne this time. I finish configuring the network switches and pack up my equipment. The installation is complete, every system tested and verified. Pinnacle Marketing now has the most secure, monitored, and comprehensively logged network infrastructure in the city. They also have no idea that their IT administrator has become their worst nightmare. Marcus appears as I'm loading cables into my truck. All finished? System's running perfectly, I tell him. You shouldn't have any more connectivity issues. Everything's being monitored and backed up automatically. Excellent. Send the invoice to our accounting department. I shake his soft hand and drive away, leaving behind a digital surveillance system that would make intelligence agencies jealous. Tonight, while Marcus and Jennifer are celebrating their secret romance with champagne in room 237, I'll be home reviewing every email, text message, and file they've exchanged over the past 6 months. Knowledge is power, and I'm about to become very powerful. The Riverside Development Project is bigger than I thought. I'm sitting in my basement office at midnight, surrounded by printouts and laptop screens showing the digital life of Pinnacle Marketing. What started as a simple case of adultery has turned into something much more interesting. Jennifer and Marcus aren't just having an affair, they're stealing. The project files I pulled from their server tell the story. Riverside Development is a luxury housing complex planned for the old industrial district near the river. 57 acres of prime real estate, currently zoned for commercial use but about to be rezoned for residential development. The rezoning vote happens next month. If it passes, the land value increases by roughly $4 million overnight. Jennifer has been using her position at Coldwell Banker to identify property owners in the target area. Marcus has been using Pinnacle's marketing resources to create shell companies and dummy corporations. Together, they've been buying up parcels of land through straw purchases, hiding their involvement behind layers of legal paperwork. It's not illegal, exactly, but it's not ethical either, and it definitely violates Jennifer's employment contract, which specifically prohibits using company resources for personal investment opportunities. More importantly, they've been using our joint savings account to fund the purchases. The bank records don't lie. Over the past 4 months, Jennifer has transferred $127,000 from our shared accounts to various shell companies controlled by Marcus. Money I earned crawling through server rooms and fixing network problems, money we saved for retirement and home improvements, money that was supposed to be ours. Now it's financing their romantic real estate empire. I print out the bank statements and add them to the growing pile of evidence on my desk. Email threads between Jennifer and Marcus discussing property acquisitions, text messages about meeting times and locations, financial records showing money flowing from our accounts to their shell companies. The affair is just the personal side of a much larger betrayal. My phone buzzes with another notification from the monitoring system. Jennifer is texting Marcus from our bedroom, 15 feet above my head, while I'm down here documenting their crimes. Can't sleep, her message reads. Keep thinking about our future. Marcus replies immediately. 6 more weeks until the vote. Then we'll have everything we dreamed of. What about David? What about him? He's a network technician. He fixes routers and cables. He's not going to figure out municipal zoning law and real estate investment. Jennifer sends back a laughing emoji. They think I'm stupid. They think I'm just some blue-collar guy who's too simple to understand their sophisticated scheme. They think I'm married above my station and should be grateful for whatever scraps of attention Jennifer throws my way. They're about to learn that underestimating people is a dangerous habit. I spend the next 3 hours mapping out their entire operation. Property records, shell company filings, bank transfers, email communications, everything connected and cross-referenced. The digital paper trail is comprehensive and damning. But evidence isn't enough. I need leverage. The beautiful thing about controlling someone's network infrastructure is that you can see everything they're planning before they plan it. Jennifer and Marcus think they're being careful, but every email they send and every document they create flows through systems I control. Tomorrow, Marcus has a meeting with the Zoning Commission to discuss traffic impact studies for the Riverside Development Project. It's not on his official calendar, but I found the appointment confirmation in his deleted emails. Jennifer has a lunch meeting with Patricia Hendricks, the real estate agent who's been helping them identify target properties. The meeting is at Chez Laurent, the French restaurant downtown where Jennifer told me she was having lunch with her sister last Tuesday. She was having lunch with her sister. Amanda was there too, apparently helping coordinate the property purchases through her connections in the county assessor's office. The betrayal runs deeper than I thought. I lean back in my chair and stare at the evidence covering my desk. Bank records, email printouts, property deeds, zoning maps, the complete anatomy of a conspiracy that started in my own bedroom. 23 years of marriage, and I never suspected that Jennifer saw me as nothing more than a convenient source of funding for her real ambitions. The affair with Marcus isn't about romance or passion. It's about business. I'm the mark, the sucker, the guy whose savings account makes their dreams possible. But here's what they don't understand about network security. Once you're inside the system, you don't just have access to data, you have the ability to change it. I open my laptop and connect to Pinnacle's server. The monitoring software I installed gives me administrative access to every system in their office. Email servers, file storage, backup systems, financial databases, all of it under my control. Jennifer and Marcus think they're playing a game where they know all the rules. They think I'm just a supporting character in their story, too boring and predictable to affect the outcome. Tomorrow, they're going to discover that the network administrator has become the network, and I'm about to change their programming. The Zoning Commission meeting is scheduled for 2 p.m., but Marcus Thompson won't be attending. I'm sitting in the parking lot outside the municipal building, watching city officials and developers stream through the front entrance. Marcus should be here by now, armed with traffic studies and environmental impact reports for the Riverside Development Project. Instead, he's probably at his office, staring at a computer screen that won't cooperate. The beauty of controlling someone's network infrastructure is that you can make their technology fail at exactly the wrong moment. This morning, Marcus discovered that every file related to the Riverside project has been corrupted. His presentation slides won't open, his email won't send, his backup drives are mysteriously empty. It's amazing how helpless people become when their computers stop working. Jennifer is having similar problems at Coldwell Banker. The property listings she planned to review with clients this afternoon have vanished from the database. Her contact management system is displaying error messages. Her phone keeps dropping calls at crucial moments. Technical difficulties happen to everyone, usually at the worst possible time. I drive across town to Amanda's office at the county assessor's department. Jennifer's sister works in property records, the perfect position for someone who needs inside information about zoning changes and development opportunities. Amanda doesn't know I'm coming. The assessor's office occupies the first floor of the old courthouse, a brick building that hasn't been updated since the 1970s. Amanda sits behind a desk covered with property maps and legal documents, helping citizens navigate the bureaucratic maze of land ownership. She looks surprised when I walk through the door. "David, what are you doing here?" "Need to research some property records," I tell her, thinking about buying land near the river. Amanda's expression shifts slightly. She glances at her computer screen, then back at me. "The river area. That's interesting. What kind of property?" "Commercial lots. Maybe some residential parcels if the zoning changes." Now she looks uncomfortable. "I'm not sure what you mean about zoning changes." I pull out a folder containing printouts from Jennifer's email account. Property maps, zoning applications, correspondence between Amanda and various shell companies controlled by Marcus. "These zoning changes," I say, spreading the documents across her desk. "The ones you've been helping Jennifer and Marcus navigate for the past 4 months." Amanda stares at the papers like they're written in a foreign language. Her face goes pale, then red, then pale again. "David, I can explain. You can explain how my wife and her business partner have been using our savings account to buy property based on inside information you provided. You can explain how Jennifer told me she was having lunch with you when she was actually meeting with real estate agents. You can explain how my own sister-in-law has been helping steal from me." Amanda looks around the office, checking to see if anyone is listening. The other employees are busy with their own clients, but she lowers her voice anyway. "It's not stealing, it's investing. Jennifer said you weren't interested in real estate opportunities." Jennifer said a lot of things. Most of them were lies. I collect the documents and put them back in the folder. "Here's what's going to happen, Amanda. You're going to write down everything you know about the Riverside Development Project. Every property transfer, every zoning application, every piece of inside information you shared with Jennifer and Marcus. Everything." "I can't do that. It would violate confidentiality rules." "You already violated confidentiality rules. Now you're going to document it." Amanda stares at me for a long moment. She's probably wondering how her boring brother-in-law figured out a scheme that took months to plan and execute. "If I don't?" "Then I file a complaint with the State Ethics Board, the District Attorney's Office, and your supervisor, along with copies of all the emails between you and Jennifer discussing which properties to target." She opens her desk drawer and pulls out a legal pad. Her hand shakes slightly as she starts writing. While Amanda documents her involvement in the conspiracy, I drive back across town to check on Marcus. The Pinnacle marketing office is in chaos. Employees stand around their workstations, staring at blank screens and error messages. The network upgrade I installed yesterday has mysteriously started malfunctioning. Marcus sees me through the glass doors and waves me inside. "Thank God you're here," he says. "The whole system crashed this morning. We've lost everything." "Everything?" "Client files, project data, financial records. It's all gone. Can you fix it?" I spend a few minutes examining the server room, making thoughtful technical noises while Marcus hovers nearby. The equipment I installed is working perfectly, of course. The system crash is actually a controlled shutdown that I triggered remotely this morning. "This is bad," I tell him. "Looks like a cascading failure in the primary storage array. The backup systems are corrupted, too." "Can you recover the data?" "Maybe. It'll take time, and there's no guarantee." "What kind of files are we talking about?" Marcus lists the missing data. Client campaigns, financial projections, project timelines. He doesn't mention the Riverside development files, the shell company documents, or the correspondence with Jennifer about property purchases. Interesting omission. "I'll do what I can," I tell him. "But you should probably contact your insurance company. This kind of data loss can be expensive to recover from." I leave Marcus staring at blank computer screens and drive home. Jennifer's car is in the driveway, which means she's discovered her own technical difficulties by now. She's in the kitchen, pacing back and forth while talking on her phone. Her laptop sits open on the counter, displaying the same error messages that are plaguing Marcus's office. No, I can't send you the listing details, she's saying to someone. My computer crashed this morning. Yes, I know how important this is. No, I don't know when it'll be fixed. She hangs up and notices me standing in the doorway. David, thank goodness. My laptop won't work, and I've got 3 client meetings this afternoon. Can you fix it? I can take a look, I tell her. But first, we need to talk. Jennifer closes the laptop and gives me her full attention for the first time in months. Talk about what? About Marcus Thompson, about the Riverside Development Project, about the $127,000 you've transferred out of our accounts. The color drains from her face. About Amanda helping you identify target properties, about the shell companies and straw purchases, about room 237 at the Riverside Inn. Jennifer sits down heavily in one of the kitchen chairs. For a moment, she looks like she's going to deny everything. Then she sees the folder in my hand, the same folder I showed Amanda this morning. How long have you known? Long enough. She stares at the folder, probably wondering what evidence I have and how much trouble she's in. She's probably also wondering how her boring network technician husband figured out a sophisticated real estate scheme. What do you want? She asks finally. I want our money back. I want you out of my house, and I want you to understand that underestimating people is a dangerous habit. Jennifer looks up at me with an expression I've never seen before. Not anger or fear, but something like respect. And if I don't? Then you'll discover that controlling someone's digital life gives you a lot of power over their real life. I leave her sitting in the kitchen with her broken laptop and drive back to the office. There's still work to do, systems to restore, networks to repair. But first, I have some files to recover. The ones Jennifer and Marcus thought were gone forever. The Riverside Inn looks different in daylight. Shabby and desperate. Like a place where people go to make mistakes they'll regret later. I'm sitting in my truck across the street, watching the parking lot where Jennifer and Marcus have been meeting for the past month. Room 237 is on the second floor, overlooking the river and the industrial district they've been trying to buy up piece by piece. It's 6 p.m. on Friday. Jennifer thinks I'm at work, dealing with an emergency service call. Marcus thinks his computer problems are just bad luck and poor timing. They're both wrong. The monitoring system I installed at Pinnacle Marketing has been tracking their communications all week. Despite their technical difficulties, they've managed to coordinate one final meeting. Tonight, they're going to discuss damage control and figure out how to salvage their real estate scheme. They're also going to discover that their problems are just beginning. At 6:15, Marcus pulls into the parking lot in his silver BMW. He looks tired and stressed, probably from spending the week trying to recover files that don't exist anymore. He checks his phone, glances around the parking lot, and walks up the stairs to the second floor. Jennifer arrives 10 minutes later. She parks her white Lexus next to Marcus's BMW and follows the same path to room 237. I give them 15 minutes to get comfortable, then I make my move. The motel office smells like cigarettes and disinfectant. The clerk behind the counter looks like he's seen everything and cared about none of it. I need to speak with the guests in room 237, I tell him. Can't give out guest information. I slide a $50 bill across the counter. It's about their car. Someone hid it in the parking lot. The clerk pockets the money and hands me a spare key card. Room 237, second floor. I climb the stairs slowly, giving Jennifer and Marcus time to dig themselves deeper into whatever conversation they're having. The walls are thin, and I can hear voices through the door. Can't recover the files, Marcus is saying. The IT guy says the whole system is corrupted. What about the property records? Jennifer's voice, higher pitched than usual. Amanda says someone came to her office asking questions. What kind of questions? About zoning changes. About the shell companies. David knows Marcus. He knows everything. I slide the key card into the lock and open the door. Jennifer and Marcus are sitting on the bed, fully clothed, surrounded by papers and laptop computers. They look up at me with identical expressions of shock and guilt. Don't stop on my account, I tell them. You were just getting to the interesting part. Marcus recovers first. He stands up and tries to look authoritative, like he's dealing with an unruly employee instead of a husband who's caught his wife in a motel room. David, this isn't what it looks like. Really? What does it look like? Jennifer speaks up from the bed. We can explain everything. I'm sure you can. Start with the $127,000. They glance at each other, probably trying to figure out how much I know and how much they can get away with denying. The property investments were legitimate, Marcus says. We were going to pay you back with interest. When? After you made $4 million on the rezoning vote? Another glance between them. They're starting to understand that their boring network technician husband has been paying attention. How did you find out? Jennifer asks. I pull out my phone and show them the screen. It's displaying a live feed from the security camera I installed in their room 3 hours ago while they were dealing with their computer problems. I've been monitoring your communications for weeks. Email, text messages, phone calls, financial records. Everything flows through networks I control. Marcus stares at the phone screen. You've been spying on us. I've been protecting my interests. There's a difference. Jennifer stands up and moves toward the door, but I'm blocking her path. She looks smaller somehow, less confident than the woman who's been lying to me for months. What do you want? She asks. I want you to understand something about network security. When you give someone administrative access to your digital life, they can see everything you do. Every email you send, every file you create, every website you visit. They can also change things. I tap the screen of my phone. Like bank account passwords, shell company registrations, zoning applications. Marcus goes pale. What did you do? I restored the natural order. The money you stole from our accounts has been transferred back. The shell companies you created have been dissolved. The property purchases you made with my money have been reversed. You can't do that. Those are legal contracts. Based on fraudulent financial statements and forged documents. Amazing what you can accomplish when you control the digital infrastructure. Jennifer sits back down on the bed, probably calculating how much trouble she's in. The properties are worth millions. Were worth millions. Past tense. As of this afternoon, all your claims have been transferred to a legitimate development company that actually has the capital to complete the project. Marcus looks like he's going to be sick. We'll sue you. We'll file criminal charges. With what evidence? Your computer's crashed, remember? All your files are corrupted. The only documentation of your scheme exists on servers you don't control. I put my phone away and look around the shabby motel room. This is what happens when you underestimate people. You assume they're too simple to understand your sophisticated schemes. You assume they'll never figure out what you're really doing. Jennifer meets my eyes for the first time. I never meant for it to happen this way. Yes, you did. You meant for it to happen exactly this way. You just didn't plan on getting caught. I walk to the door and turn back to face them. You have 48 hours to move out of my house. After that, the locks get changed and your belongings go to charity. David, please. The network is down, Jennifer. The connection is terminated. I leave them sitting in room 237, surrounded by worthless papers and broken dreams. The parking lot is empty except for their cars and the shadows of the industrial district they'll never own. My truck starts on the first try, and I drive home through streets that look different somehow. Cleaner, more honest. The house is quiet when I arrive. I go down to my basement office and start shutting down the monitoring systems. The surveillance is over. The network is secure. Tomorrow, I'll change the passwords on all our accounts and file for divorce. I'll document everything for the lawyers and make sure Jennifer understands the consequences of her choices. But tonight, I'm just going to sit in my basement and enjoy the silence. The network is finally running the way it's supposed to.